Okay. Well, hi, ladies. How are you guys today?
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning. I know we're
Hi.
grateful that we have great weather today, right? No hurricanes, no bad weather. We had
Yes.
some scare recently, and so it's just good to know that we have no tropical storms coming our way this week. So it's all good. Well, I just want to say thank y'all so much for being with me today. I'm actually very excited about our conversation and Katie getting to know you a little bit more. Whitney, I'm just so proud of you and all that you've done as the team leader over at Baton Rouge. You have really been rocking it and your energy, and I just feed off of it. So just thank you for carving time out of your schedule to be with me and to just share some successes that you've had as a team leader over the past year, and then getting to introduce everyone to Katie. So I'm super excited about that. So Whitney, why don't you share with all of our viewers a little bit more about you and introduce Katie to them?
Absolutely. I am Whitney Van, team leader at Keller Williams Red Stick Partners. And one of the delightful things about my role is getting to make people's dreams come true and taking them places they've never been. And Katie is just a shining example of that. She has not even been with us a year yet, and her business has nearly quadrupled. She felt a little bit like she had reached a ceiling where she was. And so we just coached her on the models, tools, and systems out of the MREA, and it made all the difference in her business. And we gave her some leverage, and she's utilizing everything.
Oh,
Katie, how's it been for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I'm so thankful for the opportunity, Whitney. You really caught me at just the right time. When you called me at the end of the year last year, I just made the transition in January. And so it's really just been 6 months for me. So it was a big deal. Timing was perfect. And I'm just really thankful. So
Oh, I love this, guys. Well, you know what, Katie, let's start with a question that I have for you. It's like, what did you do before real estate? Because I know like you're new overall to real estate. So what did you do before and when did you get licensed?
Well, I was in medical sales for 15 years. I started that right when I finished college. Once I graduated, I started medical sales. I did that for a long time. I loved it. It just, it was just time for something different. I've always kind of had an interest in real estate. My husband and I have always kind of dabbled in purchasing rental properties and things like that. So it's always kind of been a part of my world. People would always come to me and to us for advice on what to buy or what should I do, or is this something we should consider, and things like that. So just kind of cues like that just kind of led me to think, this may really be something that I could do and enjoy.
Oh, I love that. So when did you get licensed? When did you?
I got licensed in 2016. So
Okay.
we had it was April 14th of 2016, but we had the big flood that year
Oh, yes,
here.
we did. Oh,
And
yes, we did.
so it was really interesting. My first transaction was actually the weekend right after the flood. And so it was really it was a tricky time to kind of get in, but it didn't matter. I knew it was the right thing, and it wound up really being perfect.
Oh, well, I'm grateful that you persevered through that because a lot of people would have been disheartened and
Right,
would have been like, oh my goodness, maybe I didn't make the right decision when so much
right.
real estate, the inventory at that time really decreased
It
drastically
hit.
overnight as it
Yes,
was so hard. So that,
absolutely.
that is awesome. Well, why ultimately did you get into real estate? I know you're saying you always had a passion for it, but what was the final turning point that said, you know what, now is the time to do that?
Well, I started, I got my license and I kind of thought, I'll do both. I'll keep my day job and I'll just kind of, you know, um, twilight as a real estate agent. And it got to the point where I couldn't do both, and not so much with my time, but just with my mental energy. I couldn't keep continuing to go back and forth between the two. And so my husband, maybe he'll laugh at this now, I don't know, but at the time he didn't laugh. But I came in one day and I just told him, I was like, I quit my day job. And he was like, you what? And I had already at that time closed a few deals. So it was comfortable, but I knew in my heart, I knew it was for me and I knew I could do it. And so to me, that was kind of the kicker. It was just like, okay, if I can do this and I love this, I'm going to do it. And so that's what I did. So it's been that way ever since.
I love it. Yes. And I'm glad that you can laugh about it now. But I
I
do
know,
remember
right?
those moments of like, even we sometimes self doubt ourselves and like, okay, did I make the right decision? And
Right,
I'm proud of you because that is the hardest thing. There's a lot of people who do exactly what you've done, Katie.
right.
They'll keep their day job and said, let me moonlight or twilight, into the real
Mhm.
estate. And I love how you put it that your mental energy was being zapped because, it's hard enough
Mhm.
serve one job, but to do two and then to grow a business where your medical sales, you've grown that over the past 15 years to come and
Right,
grow a new business takes a whole different type of energy.
right.
We're grateful that you got committed to that and quit your day job and came in full time.
Yes.
So how did you come to know KW? How did you come to know Keller Williams?
Well, I didn't really know a lot about them until talking to Whitney, to be honest with you. I grew up in a small brokerage, a local brokerage here in Baton Rouge, that is just super close to my heart. But at the same time, there wasn't a lot of outside sources that we fed from, and so I just didn't know a lot about the culture. I didn't know a lot about the vision and what was available here. Really had no idea. The funny thing is, I had thought, because once I reached my 4 years in real estate, I started studying for my broker's license, and I really thought that was my next step. And not so much even for a team of people with me, but just to be able to be me, and then be able to keep my money, and do what I wanted to do with my money and support what I wanted to support and those types of things. But at the same time, the idea of just trying to reinvent the wheel was very scary, and I felt like it was unnecessary. So I didn't really want to. I never took the step because I felt the hesitation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
And so all that to say, about that time, I have a good friend that I had worked a couple of transactions with her. She's friends with Whitney. Her name's Nancy, and she had asked Whitney to reach out to me. And I didn't call her back the first 2 or 3 times, but finally I told Nancy, I said, this girl keeps calling me. What is the deal? And she's like, Katie, you've got to talk to her. And I said, okay, well, I will. So, and after visiting with Whitney, I realized, like, there's no need for a reinvention. And there's so much more that you can gain from the community, that I just, it was really eye-opening for me. So that's how I came to know KW, and I'm really thankful.
That is awesome. Whitney, what excited you about Katie?
What excited me about Katie is everyone loves her. Her clients, she has a referral business like you can't imagine. They will never use another real estate agent. And I loved her passion. I loved her energy. And I loved her willingness to grow. She wanted to take her business where it had never been before. And at Keller Williams, that's what we do at the highest level. That's what we really thrive in and are known for. So she was just the perfect person to get out of her environment that wasn't seeing the growth that she wanted to realize, and then letting her blossom in our environment. But one of my favorite stories too is very early on. I mean, she is a shero to a lot of her clients, and they will never use anyone else. And Keller Mortgage played a role in one of those transactions. It saved the whole deal, right, Katie?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, it definitely did. Mm-hmm.
I love that you embraced Keller Mortgage as soon as you came over to our products. That's excellent, right?
It's been a big deal. And that's something I didn't even realize until after I was here. But I've had so many, I don't even know what the count is at this point, because I've got 2 that are closing within this month. But it's just one of those things that's like, that's something when I think about kind of thinking back to if I were to do my own business or brokerage, that's something I would never have the opportunity to be able to offer people, So to me, it's just one of those things, like another confirmation that this was the right move.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because your toolbox is filled now with lots of
Right.
resources that you're getting because of being tapped into KW. Well,
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Well, Katie, talk to us about your business before KW, and then ultimately, what does it look like now that you've been with us for 6 months?
Okay. So, like I said, I grew up in a smaller, a local brokerage. Um, really, the only way that I ever saw to do more and make more is to work more.
Mm,
And I've been kind of, really since I've started, I've been busy. Uh, and I don't want to work more hours. When I say that at the end of every year, I'm like, I have two small children, I have a family, we love to travel, we have so many things we love to do. Um, and I don't want to spend every waking hour working. Not to say that I don't love my clients, because they are my heart and soul, 100%, but you just can't do it all the time.
that's right.
So I really never saw a way out of that, other than, um, just if you want to make more, you're going to have to work harder, more transactions, more things, every year. And I just didn't feel like I had um, the energy, not energy, but the kind of energy for that. I feel like I give my heart and soul to every client that I work with. At the end of every transaction, I can honestly say there is nothing more, that I could have done for this person, and to be able to um, get to the end of that and know that it's tiring over time. And so to think every
Maybe
year, like, I can do more than I did last year. The thought is like, I don't really know that I can. So,
one of the things we say on that is sometimes when we work that day, we ask ourselves the question: is our business scalable? And so
right.
what I hear you saying is that during that, it might not have been scalable at the highest level.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So the interesting thing for me, and I had this conversation with um, other agent friends, and then with my husband too, I just said, I can't picture anything different. I don't know how to visualize a different way to do this. Um, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just do my own brokerage. And then I, was thinking about, do I really want to do that? That's a lot of energy too, to start over and feel like you're doing everything yourself and by yourself. And I didn't really want to do that either. So that's when Whitney called. That's really what was going on in my mind when Whitney called me. And so it was really perfect timing. So what was fascinating to me is, after talking with her, after coming to the conclusion that this was the right move, she gave me a copy of the MREA, which I'd never seen, and it's just funny that I've never seen that, but to open it and to start reading it, I remember telling her, I feel like this was written for me, and it was just kind of a fascinating thought of like, I don't have to do this by myself. And there are ways that I can leverage my business and increase it without working 24/7. And it was almost instantaneously when I started to read that book, I started to be able to see where I was going. And that was that was the difference for me. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm only 6 months in, but I know where I'm going, and to me, that's the best feeling, and the best part of this so far for me.
Can I ask a question, Dawn, of
Mhm.
Katie? Katie, are you surprised at how fast and how big your business has grown?
I really am. I think just the mental switch creates a different, atmosphere and attitude around me, and I can see that people pick up on that. And then two, the Keller Williams name is so um, it's so revered in our area, and with people, they know the name, they know who we are. Um, I never realized before how important that was, and so to know those things and to be a part of those things, and then to be able to have the tools that I have to help people, it's been a huge deal. And I know that referrals have come from, oh, you can work with Katie because she can do this, and oh, they have this where she is now, she can help with this 0+ mortgage, just things like that have made a big difference.
Yeah, I love that. Well, in to quadruple your business in such a short period of time,
Mhm.
think about before KW, if you were to do that kind of volume, where would you have been emotionally, mentally, your quality of life, family life, all of those things. And now
Mhm.
that you've applied the models and systems in place, and really what I hope our viewers hear with this is in such a short period of time, you made a switch. It's
Mhm.
hard to transition, like, right? It's hard
Yes.
to transition from one company to another. We know that. But you came in and immediately embraced the systems and now quadrupled your business, and you look good. You look healthy, you positive. I mean, you're not like, you didn't come today with curls all in your hair, no makeup on. Like, I'm sitting here thinking you have such positive energy to where if you were drained and mentally exhausted, Katie, we would see that in you.
Mhm.
And yet we see the other side, right?
Right.
We see excitement
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
vibrance and growth and those kind of things. So I applaud you for doing that. Most people are scared to
Mhm.
implement new things or to try new things. We know that, right? We know that 70% of the population likes things steady and calm and no change.
Yes.
And you did it during a pandemic.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
so much chaos was going around you. So I applaud you. That was very courageous, and you're reaping the benefits of it now. So here's a question for you. What do you want to tell those who are thinking about a career in real estate? Now that you've got, a couple years into this, what do you want to tell those that are maybe right now coming out of this pandemic, thinking about real estate? Is this an option for me? What do you want to tell those folks?
Hmm. I would say, for me, real estate is a passion. And it's not about the house, it's about the people,
Mm.
the families. I've kind of tossed around doing any kind of just book or something of just the testimonies that come out of people who go, the interesting thing about houses and selling houses and moving is most of the time it is accompanying a life change for people.
Oh,
And so the interesting thing is we are the frontline, you know, emotional help, everything for these people who are going through something that has given them enough reason to move from one house to another. I've worked with clients who came through the flood, wife passed away, husband, is now moving to an assisted living. It's just we accompany these people through these life changes, and it's so humbling. And if you love houses, I would say, maybe real estate's for you. But if you love people, then it's definitely for you, because it is definitely a business where, you know, people are, you just cling to each other, and you see it, and I mean, I think that's what's so interesting about all the clients that I have. I keep their names in front of me, by the way, like all of them. They're all over my wall in my office, but it's just they are what keep me going. And so if you love people, I would say jump in, because it's such a great way to get to know people, and truly help and truly make a difference in people's hearts and people's lives.
I love that, Katie. Well, talk to us about the people at KW at your Baton Rouge office. Within that, because within a lot of people think, and it's true, real estate is very competitive,
Mhm.
and you're really competing with all of our colleagues out there, and to get into, and especially in this market, trying to get the next listing or the next client. But talk to me about your environment at the Keller Williams office there in Baton Rouge, your people, the culture. What has excited you the most about being a part of them?
Well, I will say the biggest deal to me has been just to be able to be surrounded by other people who work hard
Mhm,
and who do their best and
mhm,
who really, like the book says, they really strive to be the best they can be every day. Where I was before, I was the top producer. Um, so to be in an environment where I'm surrounded by people who are very good at their job. I didn't know how I would feel about that, because you kind of think I kind of like being, a bigger fish in a smaller pond. But at the same time, I just think, I know one of the meetings, it was just kind of an aha moment for me that uh, these I have a lot to learn from these people, and it was really neat to kind of have that thought. Um, but I have relied on them. The advice that I've gotten from the agents that have been there for a long time is things I've never. They just have a different perspective, and it's been just a huge help. I'll tell you this last quarter, I've had some transactions that have been a little bit more difficult,
mhm.
and I've thought, I'll never, I'll never make it to the closing table, and I'll call, Kevin Phillips, and he's just like, Katie.
Yeah. Love him. Yes.
He's like, you can do this, and I just get off the phone with him and I think, I can do this, and it's just so fun. And I'm so thankful for people like that, it's not like, oh, another one, it's like, get what you get or whatever. I mean, I just, it's really neat to be in an environment where I feel like I'm encouraged to grow, and I can believe in myself because I feel like other people believe in me.
I love that. Well, Whitney, I'm
Mm.
just going to fill your bucket. That's from you and your leadership team of creating an environment and a culture of people that pour into each other and just accept. And
Yes.
so I give you a hug for that, because I know how hard that is as a leader. And so that's a reflection of you and your leadership team. So thank you for having
Oh,
that there.
it's such a pleasure. Thank you, Dawn.
Okay, so Katie, what about any final thoughts that you would like to share with our group, our viewers, as far as KW goes in your business?
Uh, well, I would just say, embrace what we have as far as what we have in the real estate models and things like that. Um, those things are there and they're successful for a reason. They're important. Even if you can't, I guess my thought is, even if you can't follow them, sometimes I read through the MREA and I think, maybe I don't need to read past this point because this is kind of where I am.
Yeah.
But I encourage everybody to always kind of think about the next step,
Yes.
and think ahead. That's something that's difficult for me, and so for me to say that sounds foreign, but because I do kind of get in my rut and I just want to do what I need to do.
Mhm.
But always think ahead, use the models, they work, and that's what I would say.
I love that. Well, that's great advice for everyone, even for people who are seasoned agents, just to have that reminder as they might have been following these models for years. To hear you say that, Katie, just will reignite some passion for them to just stick the course. You know, we
Right.
say success is simple, it's not easy. And the
Mhm.
reality is it is simple. We just got to follow the models. We've got
Right.
the blueprint, right, Whitney? We've got
Right, right.
the
It's a
blueprint.
blueprint. It's waiting for everyone.
Yes. Well, Whitney, what else would you like to share about this experience that you've had with Katie and as well as your market center and or anyone looking to get into real estate as well?
It amplified. I came on board as team leader in November, and Katie's case and another agent that we brought in who actually had her own brokerage and left to come over, just put a spotlight on everything that Keller Williams has to offer. That if you want to grow your business, how to do it is so true. And so it's just been so affirming for me to watch that in progress and know that everything that Keller Williams stands for, says that they can do for agents, is real. It's true. It's tangible. It's reproducible. And to see Katie flourish and her numbers soar, and for her just to have a better system to get everything together and work it through command, through the app, through Keller Mortgage. It's fun to see all of that come together in one beautiful person that Katie is.
Oh, I love it. Well, I am blessed to have you both in our Gulf States region. Very thankful for both of y'all's leadership. And Katie, I'm excited to watch you now this year and to see, on December 31st, what you end out at. It's going to be exciting. I just know that you're going to continue to be blessed and be a blessing to others. So thank you so much for what you're doing, for being really a shining star in this Gulf States region, that so many other people are watching you. I know this. They're watching you in your market center. And I know, Katie, there's some new people that Whitney you've brought on that are looking at Katie and saying, okay, she gives me energy. She's given me passion. That people, we do inspire others. We do. And I just want to say thank you for being that person and that shining star. And welcome to the Gulf States region.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
Well, ladies, y'all have a blessed day. Look forward to
Thank
you guys
you.
soon.
It was great. Here we grow.
Here we go. Thank you
Bye,
so
guys.
much. Bye.